How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing blessed.
Nice.
Um, Going on a trip soon, leaving this weekend. So excited for
Mexico.
that. So just
Mexico?
getting some stuff together. Yeah, Mexico.
Sick. Sick. Sweet. Awesome. How much time you got for me?
I got time, bro.
Okay,
I made
cool.
time for you. Yeah.
Um,
Everyone is here. They just left, so everyone is just chilling.
Sick. So I guess we'll aim for an hour. But if the conversation's good, we'll just keep it flowing. But yeah. Everybody, welcome back to the 2 Degrees podcast. New season. This is season 4. Honestly, didn't think I was gonna do it just because man, it's hard running a fucking podcast, especially when it's solo. Just doing all the promo for it, doing all the editing, but there's just so much more talent that I feel I want to highlight and put on and try just to get people's names out. I feel like that's just how this has been shaping up with the podcast and being back in Toronto, surrounded by so many more fantastic and talented individuals. We're back, season 4. So, everybody, welcome to the 2 Degrees podcast brought to you by the Play On Foundation. It's your boy Chavi, and today's guest, he is an incredible actor, an artist all around through and through, and he is from the beautiful island of Jamaica. Yadman. Orville Cummings. Yo, what's going on, Orville? How you
Yo,
doing?
Wagwan, Wagwan. I love that. I love that intro. I love that
Ah,
intro.
love it,
First
love
of
it.
all, I say that, I kind of feel you on the it's hard running a podcast because I don't know if you know this, but I used to have a podcast that I used to have. So I know the hard work that goes into it. So good on you for keeping it going and for a good reason too. It's not just to have a podcast. Because I did it just to have a podcast. I wasn't sure what my aim was, but you seem to have
Gotcha.
a very solid aim on this one. So it's
Yeah.
good that the season 4.
Yeah, yeah,
So good on you for that.
yeah. Yeah. I'm also I upgraded for this season as well. Like honestly,
Yeah, eh?
I made this decision an hour ago. I was like, am I gonna? Because all my other interviews are like an hour, at least
Yeah.
hour. So, some of them even went to 2 hours just because like the conversation was really good. And but the thing is like Zoom now really is strict on the 40 minutes. So
Mm.
it's like, am I gonna am I gonna pay so I can have the full conversations, or am I just gonna keep it at 40 minutes because that's the limit? And I was like, fuck it, no, let's just do this. So on top of that, I have features now. I can do different backgrounds. And like, look for
Oh, say
like,
less. Into the
what?
mansion.
Let's see what this one is. I was before you came on, I was just playing around with like all the different backgrounds and seeing what the different ones are. Do you
I
also
see
have
that.
that stuff on your side?
Yeah, I think I do. I'm not sure where to go for that. Like, what the heck? AI
Yeah.
companion. What is this AI companion thing? I'm scared to click it. That's crazy.
And I have no idea. Are we like gonna have
Oh, say less. Say less.
what's the AI companion thing?
I
This
don't know
guy.
that.
Let's start there. Let's start there. So your background right now, people can't see. Orville set his background to what is this? The Enterprise?
Yes, this is the old one.
That's the old one. But one of Orville's credits for his acting is Star Trek Discovery, right?
That's correct.
Let's start there. Tell me about Star Trek Discovery.
Oh man. Is there any particular part of it you want me to dive into first? Because I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you.
Start with, did you know it was Star Trek when you got the audition? Because I know that they had like code
Yeah,
names and stuff.
yeah, they had a lot of code names and stuff. I didn't know it was Star Trek. I did research and process of elimination, narrowed it down to Star Trek.
Mm,
Uh, so because that's kind of like something I like to do with like I love when they don't want to tell me what it is. It drives me crazy. I'm just like, just tell me, it's fine. Like you
yeah.
know me sign the NDA, don't tell anyone, but I can't tell anyone anything if I don't even know what it is. Like what are
I
you guys
have
talking
told everybody whenever I sign an NDA, everybody's like, "Yo, what project you working on?"
Yo, that's hilarious. That's
Like,
so hilarious. Yeah.
but like, I'll only tell people that's a lie. I've definitely broken my NDA on stage before.
Oh man, why didn't I think
Into a
of that?
microphone, into a room full of people. I've done
Into
that.
a whole set of people.
Uh,
Someone could have been recording.
could have, could have.
That's crazy.
That
Yeah,
could
but
have.
I didn't know at first, but I did some research because I love when they don't tell me and I just do the research and find out anyways. And I'm
Mm.
just like, look at that. It's public news, but like, just tell me, like,
When you
oh,
say you did the research, like what kind of research?
well, first of all, just like looking like what the names are in the script, kind of like
Mm.
gave it away that it was a sci-fi.
Gotcha.
Um, Now looking up like the names because like one of them the scene is with the lead and I'm just like okay the lead they shortened the name to make it not they use a different part of their name to throw
Mm.
everyone off. I'm like you're not even like being sneaky about it, like you're not even being slick about it. So I looked
Mm.
that up, found out the name of this, connect that dot to that dot, and then I figured out that it was Star Trek. I'm like that's what we doing, say
Gotcha.
less.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
funny. Nice. And then what was that experience like filming? And then did you work with any of the leads as well?
Yes. I'll start with
Because
the
you were on the bridge, weren't you?
I was on the bridge. That's
Yeah.
correct. I was on the bridge. Working there was it isn't as sick as you would imagine, to be honest with you, because
Mm.
when I was going in there, I thought I was going to walk into like this place filled with green screens and everything, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of practical stuff they use on the show, like especially the explosions, and I'll emphasize that there's a lot of explosions there. Like
Sick.
it's crazy. You can feel the
Yeah.
heat, like pyrotechnics and explosives. Yeah, it's going ham, which adds to the
Uh,
immersion and it helps me as an actor, because I look at this experience that I had with filming Star Trek as when you're a kid and you have like I don't know, like a delivery box. You go in and you pretend it's like your spaceship or any little corner you could find. You pretend like it's your spaceship, and it's like it felt like I was being a kid again, but like
mm.
with a higher budget. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
that's fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was really fun, and the people I worked with I've worked closely with the lead because she's a captain of the ship, so she's all of my scenes are with her,
Yeah.
and I've worked with some other amazing artists and talent on the show, and
Nice.
it was a great experience. I'm
Yeah.
super grateful for it.
How many episodes did you get?
So when I first got hired for the show in season 4, I was hired for 3 episodes, and then near Christmas of 2020,
Hmm.
um, my agent told me that they're expanding the role to like 8, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then after that season passes by, and you're just like, are they gonna bring me back? I don't know, we don't know, but we're just trying to make peace with it or whatever, because
Yeah.
keep this stuff moving. We can't be waiting along. Uh,
Exactly.
and it's funny because like this was when the time I was waiting for them to let me know I was going to Miami for my film that I shot in 2020, also Bite of a Mango, and we're going to the American Black Film Festival. But
Mhm.
then Star Trek hit me up and was like, "Hey, weird thing, we're using you again. These are tentative dates, and one of them was in June, and it was the same time we were going to leave. So we're just like, yo, am I not going to be able to go to Miami with my friends to go watch this film because I might be filming on this day, but they're not telling me. So it was 2 weeks, actually a week and a half before the date that we were supposed to go to Miami that they gave me my dates, and it was just like a couple days after the day I would come back. So like
Mm.
I didn't have a plane ticket or anything. It was just convenience that one of my other friends, she couldn't come because she booked something else that
Yeah.
was during those days, so she had to transfer her tickets to me, and it was
Is that
absolutely
a thing? Can you do that?
yeah. Apparently, I don't know how they did it. It's just like now this ticket's mine. And you just like you transfer the person,
Yeah.
my other friend who sent me the ticket, and then we move on. So yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. 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 Nice.
But
Because
yeah,
yeah,
and
I
then sorry, and then they brought me back in season 5, and it was 10 episodes.
nice. So yeah, because like I recall seeing you on those pictures like in Miami for that
Yeah,
premiere. Yeah. 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 Nice. Sick. So 2 Degrees podcast, depending on who my guests are, sometimes I like to spark up because that's just
spark it up.
why not? And I don't know, I'm entering a phase where I want to get back into matches.
You
No
want to
more
get back into
lighters.
matches?
Yeah, no more lighters. I don't know.
Classic.
There was one time where can't remember what I was going through, but I was hanging out on the beach with some friends And then just a group of girls came up to us and was just like, anybody have a lighter? I was like, nobody said anything. It's like I got matches, and it's like, oh, I don't know how to use matches. Like it's cool. And then I lit her a cigarette for her with the match, and like it was just so smooth. Just one stroke. Here you go. There, throw the match, and then like I just went back into my conversation, and then like she was there just hanging out, and I was like, oh, did you need anything? It's like, no, I just stopped to hang. And then apparently it was just the coolest thing that any of the guys had ever seen. Where it's just like you lit somebody's cigarette with a match and just like carried on like that was just normal. And I was just like, is that not, I don't know, is that a thing? Just
That's
light?
funny. I personally like matches myself.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that people nowadays one don't know what a light match is. I'm just like,
Mm,
damn, we move past matches that much that we the next generation doesn't know how to light matches. That's kind of
yeah.
crazy. And
Right.
I just like, lighting matches is fun. Look at that. Y'all can't see that, but look at that. I
It's
don't
so
know if you
fun.
ever, I don't know if you ever seen this video of this guy and he's like in India. They call him the Dali Chai Lama, and he's like making chai tea on the side of the road. And one of the part of his service is like if you put a cigarette in your mouth, he lights the matches real quick and put it in and like lights your cigarette like super fast.
Nice. While he's like making people's,
Why is making chai lattes for everyone?
man, I don't know how I feel about that because nope. I don't know. It's just too risky to eat street food. I find when you're in other places.
When you're in other places, I yes, I mean like I
It's like
I
if I were to go to like Trinidad or something, like
yeah,
you know who to go to,
yeah.
right? And it's like same deal I assume in Jamaica too, where it's like
Yeah, I
when
was
you
just
go,
about to say that I would tell people to get street food in Jamaica because it's freaking amazing. The most amazing soup and jerk pork you can get is on the side of the road. So
yeah.
I would say that. I mean, like,
But then
I
even
can't.
for that, like you go to particular ones.
Yeah, you get familiar and you go to
Yeah,
particular ones that the service is good. Like this because people are people. Some people are sanitary and some people are not.
yeah, yeah. Oh, like there's so many videos that are going viral now, like the street food in India where it's just
Oh, I see them.
hands,
Yeah, I see
hands.
them. I see them. I mean, it's kind of wild because it's just like India's such a big place. So I don't know if it's just like one area of India that particularly has that. But like, yeah, because some of them are so ridiculous. I see one and this guy's like cutting this dough with his toenails. And I'm like, nah,
Stop
nah,
it.
nah, 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 nah.
Stop it.
Bro, he's cutting, he has this long ass jagged toenail on his big toe and he's
No,
cutting the dough with it. And I'm like, yo,
what?
and he's frying it because it's supposed to be a dough that's supposed to be fried. So people are gonna eat that. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Because at first
Well,
I'm like these memes. I'm like, okay, these memes are kind of like they're funny, but I'm just like, come on. I mean, like, there's got to be some parts in India that does the street food that are just like clean and whatever. But then I saw that and I was like, that's crazy, bro.
like that's
That's
normal.
crazy. It's just normal. Like you could tell, like he didn't think of that idea on the spot. Like he's doing it like he's been doing it for decades.
Oh man, that's wild.
Freaking crazy.
Um, how did we meet?
Yo, that's a crazy question. Actually, I have assumptions. I don't have a
Hmm.
solid answer for you of how we met, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. I feel like it's either
because like all the guests that I've had here, I know them and I've met them before. I don't think I've had anybody on here who I haven't met. So it's like I know
yeah,
how I met everybody. How did I meet you? I can't for the life of me remember.
it's definitely we didn't meet like independently. I'm pretty sure we met through a friend meetup or something. It was either at a
Okay,
acting party
okay.
or something. But I've already known a few. Most of the people I've met when I moved to Toronto, I already like knew about them through their mutual friends, but I
Move
never
here
met
from
them
where?
before. Brampton.
Gotcha. It is right there. Trying to talk like you're out of town, pal.
Nah, bro, Brampton's deep, bro. And you get to Brampton, it's different, man. It just feels too disconnected from the GTA to even feel
When
like.
you were living in Brampton, were you already friends with Leighton and Brendan?
Nah, I didn't even like it was when I met them that well, I knew Leighton because Leighton went to my high school, but
Okay.
he was already going off to college by the time I met him
Yeah.
to Ryerson.
Yeah,
But yeah, Brandon I didn't meet till years later.
cool. It's Orville.
Oh no me.
This
Ryan
guy,
Rosary.
this guy,
McLuhan.
this guy. He can't hear
What am I
you.
doing there? How am I doing here? Crazy.
um, yeah, I don't recall how we met, and like I watched those videos where it's like how guys meet. First day they just walk past each other. Third day they give each other a head nod. Fifth day they give each other a bigger head nod. Seventh day they actually say yo what up to each other. And then it's
Damn.
like, and they don't even ask each other's names. It's like then one
Yeah,
day it's just like, yo, you good? It's like, yeah, I'm good. Next day it's like, yo, did you catch the game? Full conversation starts, and then it's like you guys are just brethren.
that's crazy. Wait, hold up. You were in Vancouver for a minute though,
Yeah,
right? Did we meet
yeah.
before you were in Vancouver or after you?
Oh, I don't know. I when did you move to Toronto?
I moved to Toronto in I would say 2016, 2017, one of those 2 years.
Okay, I left 17.
You left
So
7.
yeah.
Mm.
So I don't know how fast you were out on the scene, on the acting scene when you moved here, but that would have been the only year.
Yeah, then it would probably wouldn't be that year. So it's probably when you came back for something, and probably after Nathan came back from Vancouver is when we met.
Hmm.
So that's like 2019,
Okay.
2019.
I have a yogurt thing, but I'm eating rice out of it.
You're eating right. Hey, how can I rice that?
I made a kimchi fried rice this morning.
Oh, say less, yo, bro. I've been wanting to make kimchi fried rice for so long. Korean food is my hands down my favorite food right now.
Yeah,
I just ate some Korean fried chicken before I came on this podcast, fam. I am stuffed.
man. Oh, it's on the Food Network for I want to say it's like Iron Chef, like the Iron Chef host,
Yeah,
where it's on this cooking show, and then it was this like Korean lady talking about how Korean fried chicken is so good. And then the host, who's a white guy, in the most nerdiest way, explained that it's because of black people from the war coming over and them discovering like frying chicken. So it was like Korean fried chicken is still at the root black people cooking.
mm, mm, but they do a damn good job at it. I ain't gonna lie. Like Korean
Oh,
fried chicken,
nuts.
mad stupid.
Yeah.
Yo, for that any
Which
day.
which which spot? Yo, we live so close, so it's like we probably check the
Yeah,
same
it's true.
restaurants.
It's by Dundas, Young and Dundas. Uh, what is that spot? What's it
Young and
called?
Dundas.
Nene, Nene
What's it?
Chicken.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know
Okay,
about
I
it,
heard
right?
of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, Nene Chicken is crazy.
Mm.
Their sweet and spicy chicken, crazy.
I'm loyal to Jollibee's.
Jollibees. You know, I never really had Jollibees.
I know. We gotta get on that.
I know there's one near where you were at right now, right on Queen Street, but
Yeah.
but I haven't tried Jollibees yet. Still,
So dope. Um, I wanted to talk about, was it a short film where you were highlighting the patty?
yeah, it was a short documentary.
What's that called? I was looking for it.
Yeah, Patty versus Patty.
Patty versus patty.
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah. And then what happened with that? Because that looked fun.
yeah, Patty versus Patty it was actually a really fun project. It's probably the project to this day that I'm like over the moon proud of because it was about something about my culture that I didn't really know. Yeah, I was glad. I was grateful to be a part of a story that educated people, and it's such a fun role because it's pretty much like a comedy, like a dramedy, and the role was fun. I played Michael Davidson. He's the guy that the consumer and corporate affairs were trying to go into a store and tell him that he can't sell a patty because a patty is a burger, you know. So it's a
Mhm.
conflict. People are gonna get confused. So they're gonna be like, change the name or shut down your business. And they're just like, and he's like, I'm not gonna shut down my business. It's always
And
been called.
this is based on a real person.
This is the real person. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
There's a yeah,
crazy. I love that story.
yeah. It's really interesting. And he fought fought back and he went into the news and everything with it. And then he went down to the corporate affairs office and then one, and then the name that they settled on was that they were gonna call it the Jamaican patty,
Mm.
right? The simple solution. But because of that drama that happened, it made the patty more popular in Toronto so much that the guy Michael Davison started his own factory to manufacture patties and box them and ship them, and he even shipped them back to Jamaica because stores in Jamaica wanted to buy his patties. So he kind of like came
Wow,
full. Yeah, so it's really interesting.
that's
It's a cool
crazy.
story.
What
85.
was what store then did he have?
Uh uh Kensington Patty Palace.
Is that still there?
I know it's not there
No,
anymore.
yeah,
No, 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 no. I think Golden Patty. I'm not sure what street it was on, but like some of them are still there.
yeah,
Golden Patty's there still.
gotcha. Cool. Um, one thing about podcasts that I highlight um, is people's mental health struggles in their industry. We've had a few actors on here, and what was your journey like? What is it like? And how you're dealing with your mental health as an artist, as an actor.
Um, I think the journey for me has like, I guess my perspective on my journey has changed throughout the years. Now where I'm at, it's more like I understand that there's a long game being played here, and when things are, and I learned to unattach myself to just one, like, have different interests, hobbies, things that make me who I am. So when one thing falls, like I have another thing to lean back on, because I found before my journey was like acting is like what I do, and this is like all I care about. So I attached myself to it. And then when the pandemic happened, I felt lost because the thing I attached my life to was no longer happening. You know what I'm
So
trying
let's
to say?
say,
So
give me a timeline
a timeline
of when you had this discovery.
um that I attached myself or after.
Both,
Uh,
both points.
well, the discovery came uh in 2020, like the end of 2020, like in like September, I remember. And then ever since then, it's just been a different shift in mentality.
Hmm. Before then, what was that journey like then? Before you had this discovery?
Before then, it was, I uh I was being very passive in my journey, meaning like I would, only do the bare minimum. I'll go to my classes and whatever, and then wait for auditions to come, and then I'll say I'm ready. So I was just being like at the whim. I wasn't like I didn't I didn't fight for what I think I deserve. Like the agency I was with, I know
Where
deep
did
down
that, why did you have that mentality?
I had that mentality because I didn't know. Like I felt I was so new in the industry that I felt like, you know, because I don't know, I kind of just like tiptoe and see what's going on and learn that way.
Hmm.
So I had no one around me at the time to like, people doing it at such a level that know so much, because I haven't like accumulated those friends yet and those connections yet to guide me and tell me, no, like this is this and this that. So I'm just like feel like I was like here kind of like isolated trying to figure that out for myself.
Hmm.
And it didn't help that the people at the time, like some certain people that I was like came across with who were actors, were having a very negative mentality about it and being very bitter about it. So that didn't really help, but
So
it
with
still.
them being bitter now, do you understand it?
Yes, I do understand it, but because once I reached the understanding them, I was already shifted my perspective on my journey, and then I just saw it was like
Yeah.
I get why you feel that way, but I promise you, it complaining about it is only going to make it worse. It doesn't change anything, and at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's a long game. So it's just like there's going to be injustice, going to be so many hurdles and so much unfair stuff that are against us, but like we have to
Yeah.
find a way to like roll with the punches and kind of like move through that, navigate.
Hmm.
That's why we need like a community of people from
Yeah.
all walks of this industry to like watch each other's backs and guide each other forward.
It's a hard sell to try and get that. type of community. When you find it, it's amazing, but it's
Hmm.
unfortunate that I feel like the nepotism is insane.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's like that's why I did so well in Vancouver, where
Hmm.
it's not as I don't know, maybe because it's also smaller and younger of a union out there, but it's like I don't know, they just had a different mentality out there that you could really benefit from bringing that mentality over.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've never tested the Vancouver waters for acting. I had a lot of friends that moved out there, mutual friends that we shared that did really well over there. So like it,
yeah,
I was tempted to go over there at one point. I was like, oh shit.
yeah.
But I'm just like, I tried to switch the mentality, reverse mentality. I'm like, nah, everyone's different to Vancouver. That means there's less competition here. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Do the
That's
opposite.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
haha.
that.
Especially the black guys. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's not a lot of black guys over there. We're in demand right now. Yo, let's all move." I'm
Yeah,
like, if niggas move out of Toronto, then I'm the only one here. Let's go.
yeah. That was literally the conversations of people having that were there. Yeah,
Yeah, but little did I know there was at least 20 other niggas that thought of the same thing I thought of. So we saw each
yeah,
other at every commercial and every audition.
yeah. Well, let's explore that origin then. What even made you want to get into acting? What were you doing before acting?
Um, Subconsciously it started like when I was like a little kid growing up in Jamaica because I grew up as an only child and I would always have an imaginative mind. So but then when I came up here to Canada, what I really wanted to do at first was to be a cinematographer or a director,
Oh,
because I just love movies, I love films. But acting, because coming to a new country, I'm just like, oh, no, no. I never thought of acting as a career, but at the same time, I was just like, I was too shy to even get into it. But then in high school, I took a film class, but I didn't read properly what I signed up for, and it was acting for a film. And I'm like, I want to be
mm,
behind the not in front. And the teacher gave me a week. Before I could switch a class or I'm stuck in here. So I'm like, I'll stick it out for the week. And if I don't like it, I'll leave. And I stuck the week out. I loved it. I kept going. My confidence kept building. And at the end of the term, the teacher said to me, Orville, you should probably consider this as a career. You're really good.
what school was this?
This was Fletcher's Meadows Secondary School. It was in Brampton.
Wow.
Yeah. Just shout out to Fletcher's. Yeah. So that's where
Who
it
was the
really
teacher
started.
that told you that?
Her name is Kim.
Hmm.
Kim Thomas. She's actually really good friends with Onalike.
Yeah,
If
Kim
if you
Thomas.
Kim Thomas, yeah.
How crazy would it be if we just brought her on the show right now?
Yo, that would be yo, is she coming around the corner? Yo,
Just
yo,
pop in. Hey, Kim,
yo,
you
that would be
there?
so cute. Yo, can you imagine?
I wish. I definitely want to
Yo,
get to that point. Just like
you
surprise
get to that
people.
point, bring me back. That's so crazy. That's so funny. What if she just popped up right now and this
You
is
know what I
like, oh,
mean?
hey, Orville, ah, Miss Thomas. Oh my
It-
God.
One of those ones where it's like, yeah, I think I've seen some actors in that position where it's like they pull out their childhood like teacher or something, or like where Steve Harvey brought out like the ones that put him on, like that white
Mm,
couple. One of
yeah,
those things. Bring them back. Bring them back.
yeah, bring him back. We gotta give people their flowers while they're still here, man.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, with that, tell me about Bite of a Mango. That was a fun one.
Yeah, Bada Flamengo was a fun movie and like also a great experience because we shot it in a time where there wasn't much going on in the industry because of COVID, and a lot of the people who worked on that film were, I guess they were motivated. They were both
Can you can
equally
you can you talk about that? Like
talk talk about what.
you guys were filming through COVID,
Yeah, COVID lasted 3 years, bro.
right? So it's like, what was, I guess, with everything being locked down, like what was the rules?
The rules was, well, we had to have a COVID person there. That's the standard practice, and we had to have an actor rep oversee everything that's happening, making sure people get tested and that the what's it called, the social distances rule were being like, obviously being followed because
Yeah.
no one got COVID on that set. And you can watch the movie, you can even tell that, we shot it as minimally as possible, minimum background and everything, because it's a crazy time to make a movie. You could tell in a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows that come out of Netflix
Yeah.
during COVID or post COVID, you see how empty it is, But ours, because we it's not like we were prepared for that, but it's just like it's an independent film. So it's just like you were already trying to navigate and finessing things that the finesse just came naturally. And it just worked with the climate because like we had access to many more locations, and um people had more time. Like scheduling wasn't the issue. So it kind of like helped the film in a way.
Yeah.
And the fact that the film also spoke about the pandemic. So, it kind of just like,
Was
that's
then this film a concept before the pandemic then?
Bite of Mango, a
Yeah.
concept before.
Yeah.
Uh, like if it was drafted before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure to be honest with you. Um, I'd have to ask the writer when they
Yeah.
drafted it up and when they adjusted it or they actually wrote it
Yeah.
for the pandemic. I'm not sure about that.
That'd be
Not
interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be Ron, right?
Yeah, Ron and Ozzy wrote the film,
Sick.
and yeah, but they have.
I feel like there's a lot of lag right now.
Okay, hold on. Is this better?
Yeah, I think that was good enough. Okay.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Okay, we're
You can
back.
see me.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank God.
yeah.
No, I was laughing at the
That was
fact that
that
they.
was CBS shutting us down. They can't use
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say, hey, yo, chill out. Wait, hold on. No, I was just laughing at the fact that they have so many like films and stuff that they already have in the works. So it's just
Yeah,
like this film, Fight of a Man, could have been written 5, 10 years ago, and just never got made until the pandemic, and then they
yeah,
adjusted for the pandemic. That's just how it is. They just always have like stuff on the go, and they move like G's, silence,
yeah.
lasagna.
Hmm. Are you able to speak on Morningside?
I could touch up on it. Yeah, I'll let you know
How's
when we're
Yeah, give us a little intro of Morningside and congrats with being a part of it.
appreciated. Yeah, Morningside. Same production that did Butter for Mango, Ron and Ozzy, and it's basically a film about a community center that's getting torn down to build condos. So it's like the area is being gentrified, and it's just the stories of the people who formed a community within the community center and how their lives are being affected by it. And it's kind of like a coming of age kind of story with multiple different characters. You meet them, you love them, you see how different characters from different storylines kind of like intersects and interact with each other. So it's a film where I feel like everyone will kind of like resonate with each different story that's being told.
Hmm.
Yeah.
In terms
So
of it
that's
resonating, like, tell me about locations.
locations. Yeah, we were blessed enough to have like a really good location in Scarborough, because I think it was important for the film to be shot in the area that it's talking about, just to
Yeah,
keep a level of authenticity there, right? So they
yeah,
got most of their location in Scarborough's, the houses that the families and different people live in, and the community center, which was like amazing, was a huge community center. So it provided a lot of like different variations of like places to shoot and to tell a story about all these characters like going to the community center without it feeling like samey. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
Making one location look like many is like really cool.
yeah.
So yeah, the location thing came clutch.
Man, that's cool. Not gonna lie, kind of sad I didn't get to be a part of it, but it's whatever. It's cool.
Oh,
It's
yo,
whatever. It's it's
honestly,
it's okay. No, you know what? Don't even want to talk about it anymore.
no, honestly, on the reels though, I think you would have been a great Josh for the movie. It
Hmm,
was the Filipino character, part of the Filipino storyline. I think you would have been
yeah.
great for that, to be honest with you.
Wow.
So I'm also
Wow.
sad that you weren't part of the movie.
That
Would have
was
been lit. Hey,
racist. That was
hey,
racist.
what do you mean?
You don't know the Filipino roles? Is that it?
But
I
it's
can't
such a
I
good.
can't I can't fill any other role. It has to be the Filipino role. That's it's cool.
No, that role's particular. You don't
It's
trust me. You
cool.
want that role. He's number two on the call sheet. What are you talking about? What do you want
Wow.
to play? The
You're
brother?
not good enough
Want
for
to be
number
the lead?
one. Wow. That's
You want to
cool.
be the
What
lead?
that's whatever.
The lead is
I
a
could
black woman. Can you be a
yeah,
black woman?
yeah, I can.
You can
I
be a
am.
black woman.
I am. I have that in me. I've
You have it.
been
Everyone has it in them. Let me see it.
it's there. That's can't go there. Gotta pay me first.
Yeah, I gotta pay you first.
trying
Hey
to
man, so write a passage in Hollywood. Every
trying to
man
get me
has to work
canceled right
for us.
now.
I get a guess right now, though.
What's your impersonation of this big black woman that you can
Yeah.
embody?
Have you heard about that movie? There's a movie about this like radio. This guy wants to have a radio show, but no one's listening to it, so he pretends to be a black woman. He changes his voice. He's a super white dude, and I'm just like, I can't believe there's a movie coming out like this.
It's
I
coming out.
wish I remember the names. I could tell you. Huh?
It's out already.
It's out because I saw this commercial for it like a year and a half ago,
Do people?
bro.
Where do
If
you see commercials?
YouTube,
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's
YouTube, right?
funny. Nobody's
But
watching TV anymore, so they have to advertise through fucking
you
YouTube.
have to advertise through YouTube. Why am
That's
I seeing?
clever.
Yeah, it's crazy, but like they need to chill because like some of these movies, these trailers are like 3 minutes, and then the ad comes up and you can't skip it. I'm just like, why am I watching the last voyage to the demeanor or whatever, and it's a 3 minute trailer and I can't skip it, and it comes
That's
on every
funny.
30 seconds of me watching the video. Like, how much money did you
Oh,
guys put into this ad?
that's so funny. Would you
It's
ever are you paying a YouTube subscription?
nah. I
Okay.
talked about that with a friend the other day. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Doing that.
that's funny.
YouTube, you're not getting my money. Here because you guys are already oppressing a lot of your people them, what's it, demonetizing them. I don't even like that word.
Ooh,
Demonetizing them. So give the
which
people the money back and
who's
also the
de
company.
who's demonetized and for what?
No, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and like the people I watch, once they have at least one video of them saying like, "Yo, YouTube is being like
Mm.
whack with this monetization stuff." So the format of the channel kind of has to change, and like they have more strict rules
Oh,
around like swearing and stuff, like just very little things. And it just like if you have a video that's like keeps making you money because every year someone watches, a million more
yeah,
people watch, keeps giving you money. If that now video that's been saving your ass with money falls under their regulations, it's demonetized, and that you lose that stream of income. So I'm just like, that's crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, man. So
So
many different
YouTube ain't
streaming
getting my
sources.
money.
Fair. No, I wouldn't pay for that shit. That's crazy.
No, I'm paying for that.
Um, in my journal, I have a journal prompt thing, and it has every day on it. And let's find out how your day was. January. What was peaceful about today?
What was peaceful about today? That's a really good question. Um, I guess waking up this morning was pretty peaceful. I just got up, read my book, and drank my coffee. Girlfriend's just laying right under my armpits. It's great. It's very
Is that,
peaceful. It's
yeah,
quiet.
nice. I like that. What is your relationship with I guess being okay with like being at peace? Does that make sense?
What is my relationship? Yeah, I understand. Uh, I guess
Did it always come easy? Did peace come easy to you? Does it come easy to you?
no, peace comes easier to me now, but it doesn't come easy at all.
Hmm.
Because it's something that you have to. It's both a choice and a way of being. Because a lot of times you have to choose peace, especially like when you're going through stuff, you're being anxious about the future, or you feel depressed about something that happened in your past. You kind of have to. That's when you let that go. That's you choosing peace. And
Hmm.
sometimes just being peaceful means like how you wake up. I read this book, and it was just like how you start your morning can like affect how your entire day goes. So starting your morning no music, no sound, no screens, drinking some water, do some light movement, say something that you're grateful for, kickstarts your day. So that's just like you just being, and then it'll just like you automatically that's how you'll be through most of the day. But shit
Yeah,
happens, someone cuts you off. You'll be driving and someone cut you off, and then that mood switches. But you gotta that's when you choosing peace has to come through. You know what I'm saying? So
that's fun.
it works in both realms.
Hmm, interesting. No, peace is an interesting emotion, sensation, feeling. What would peace
Hmm.
fall under? But I don't know. I feel like that word, especially when it comes to being an actor,
Hmm.
where I feel like peace is very hard to find when you're on this career path.
I agree. Um, and I think it's in a way a good thing that you don't find peace easily at all,
Mm,
because I feel like as an artist, even though we want to like get our work to a place where it's just what we do and we just, we get paid to do it and we do it leisurely when we want to, but inherently having that lifestyle makes you kind of like want to struggle. You use that entropy, that feeling of like being like erratic or whatever you're feeling at the moment that's not peace, and you use it to channel that into your art. And in a way it's like just being at peace is like just being a flat line, whereas that entropy that happens when it levels out, it's like it gives you a even more rewarding sensation that you not just got through the storm, but you used it and created something beautiful with it. That's what I think.
mm,
That's just a a perspective I have on it.
yeah. Hmm. No, it's fascinating. So, what is it like in the world and in the day of Orville when he's not acting?
Yeah, so going back to what I was saying before, like I practiced not attaching myself to just acting alone.
Mm,
Try to find connections with many different things. I found a connection with martial arts. So I
mm,
do Muay Thai, Krav Maga. So that's something that I have that's an outside interest of acting. Um, I love playing video games, man. I love to like get lost in the world. I love a different alternate narrative that's not on TV or movies. Love TVs and movies as well, but like I wouldn't say they're my hobbies or I watch a lot of them.
yeah. Have you
Um,
have you done a mocap thing yet?
Bro, I've been wanting to do mocap for so long. I've had one audition recently, and I really feel like I've nailed it. But I knew who it was for, and I knew that they love nepotism. So it is what it is. But I'm
Mm,
glad they took the tape because I didn't get the audition. A friend of mine had the audition, and I'm just like, but wait. I called my agent. I'm just like, hey man, can you push for this because like this is
mm.
crazy. I've seen this casting director yet, and they're being clicky.
Oh man,
They're being clicky, eh?
where are you at in terms of doing the rules for like casting, like auditions? Like how important is like the casting director's notes and stuff for you?
Uh, I think they're pretty important when the notes are like when it makes sense, because some of the notes in the breakdowns don't make any sense.
Yeah,
And you kind of find it with characters that aren't like necessarily like substantial in the story in terms of like the principal and the leads. They get the bigger chunks, but like when
yeah.
you go in for like your little principal, your actors and your principals, it's just like I don't know, Blake, 26, dark haired, ready for the journey, and I'm like, okay, what's the journey? What I'm buying liquor from the convenience store. What is this? What is this? So it I I've grown to love when they don't give me a lot of descriptions, because then I'm just like, okay, I'll just do whatever I want. But when there's a lot of descriptions, I try to follow it as much as possible with adding my own flair. Just so because if you get an audition, procedurals are very like are a trap. I love going out for procedures, but I feel like they're a trap because when you read a procedural, say you're a lawyer, and everyone has this audition, and you read the lines that they are. It's like I want to be in the audition room because I'm sure like 90% of them must sound and look the exact same. Like
Yeah.
you open the file, the folder with all the auditions that's submitted to you, and you expand in the thumbnails, and you just see like 50 dudes in a white shirt and black tie, and it's freaking
Yeah.
crazy. So it's good sometimes to just go against the rules. I do that especially for commercial auditions when I have to
Mm,
tape for it. I shoot a whole skit just for the hell of it.
that's crazy. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that.
Yeah. Is it just acting for you then too, or are you exploring directing, writing, producing?
I am exploring directing. I recently directed my first short film this past November, October.
Hmm.
It's a horror film. Shot it in Georgetown. So shout out to Georgetown, and it was a wonderful experience.
Why shout out Georgetown? Why shout out the location?
Shout out Georgetown for just being so dead and having so many abandoned buildings that we can just show up there and no one will bat an eye because no one cares. So shout out Georgetown for being and for first of all, yeah, and oddly enough, when we were driving there, one of the guys in the car was just like, "Do you know Georgetown has one of the has a KKK group?" And I'm like, "What? Why are we here? Why are we here? Wait. First of all, we're going on property, and people are already gonna get sussed out with the amount of people here. And you tell me the KKK is lurking? You're dumb, fam, and I'm the only black guy here. You're dumb, fam.
Right?
I hope you guys are ready to protect me. I hope you guys are ready to protect me. This is crazy.
Was anybody like,
Shout out.
did they get wind? Did anybody show up?
Yeah, people showed up, but they were it was like people were also just going for a leisurely walk through an abandoned building.
So
They
nobody
saw
nobody with a hood showed up.
nobody with a hood showed up. None of the clan members showed up. Thank God. I know they were probably looking far on. There he is, Ed. But like, I they didn't show. We got the fuck out of there as fast as we could. It started raining. It was like a horror film shooting the horror film. Crazy. The
That's crazy.
cameraman, the cameraman fell down a hole. He fell down a fucking hole. Oh my god. But here's the thing though. It wasn't even like it wasn't even like a the way it happened was so dumb. It was when we wrapped and we're shooting downstairs in the basement, the last horror scene, and we're coming up with the other two actors, and he's just like, "Yo, let's scare them because it's so dark." And we're going into this door frame, and I go to the left side of the door frame. He's trying to go to the right to scare them, and I look over at him, and I see him go right down with the fucking camera in his hands. So there's like the building is like so rotten. There's like a little dugout there because it got eroded and he fell down. If it was any deeper, he would have died. He
How's
caught himself.
how's cameras
Half
done?
his body was gone. His toes hit the bottom, so he could like stand. But if it was
Oh, okay.
like deeper, like another
Mm,
like 5 foot deeper, it's over for him.
no.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. We almost lost the cameraman. I mean,
Hmm.
we got all the footage, so
Yeah.
that much of a
Shooting
loss.
horror now. What's your opinion on horror movies? Because personally, there isn't really a horror movie that's come out in the last 10 years. Like, there's a lot of films out there that claim to be horror, but I feel like they've lost that horror side. I don't know if it's people trying to not be disgusting or whatever, but yeah, there's nothing. And then it's like, what stood out? The film Slasher?
Yeah.
No, sorry, not
No,
Slasher.
it's not Friday
No,
the 13th.
no. It was the one
Scream?
Keanu was in,
Oh, Fear Street.
Fear Street, that trilogy,
Yeah, I love that.
where that was like the thing that got
That
me
was
was
sick.
you got to see the knife go through,
Yeah, it was very gruesome.
where I think that's something that's been missing, especially, and it's like it's the same stories over and over. Because I think the rule is like, in order for it to be a horror movie, it can touch on supernatural, it can touch on fuck, what is it? The
First,
the
is it supernatural?
thriller. So supernatural, um, like the slasher. The slasher is the definition of a horror, and then there's another thing that.
Hauntings?
Supernatural.
That's supernatural?
That'd be supernatural. But like these films nowadays, they don't cover any of these.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
So like
agree.
what was your experience with this film and trying to be true to this horror genre?
I agree. To be honest with you, I didn't even want to get into directing horror films or even acting in a horror film, but I love horror films. I love watching it. I'm more of an
Mm.
observer of horror films. I don't feel like I wanted to participate in one.
What's
So this film,
your favorite horror film?
that's a tough question, man. That's hard.
Let's digress, go down this
Ooh,
rabbit hole.
what's yours?
I don't like horrors.
Oh, you don't like horrors? That's
I
so funny.
don't like horrors. And then that's another
Oh,
thing that kind of like I didn't like them because they scared the shit out of me. I was
nice.
scarred from Scream.
Oh, it's great.
That fucked me up. And there was a corner in my house where the light fell through the stairway. And
Yeah,
so it was just a round spot on a white
yeah.
wall. So whenever I turn that corner, I just see that, like the Scream mask.
That's so
That's what I saw.
hilarious.
But like,
That's
yeah, no, I
so
don't like horror. And then like, there was another time where I was doing a press junket for a horror film that I did, and then like they asked me, it's like, what do you think about horror films? And I said, I hate them. I don't like watching them. I get scared. And then afterwards, like my publicist was like, you can't say that you hate horror films.
ah. You're supposed to promote it. You're supposed
I
to promote it.
know.
So
Because like,
funny.
because especially filming it, like I personally wasn't in any of like the scary scenes. So
Mm,
it's like my filming experience of it wasn't even a horror film.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got away because you didn't like your horse, so you're fine. No covered in blood.
But like I want to say the difference between the first Saw and the last Saw is
Oh, yeah.
gigantic.
It's a huge
Where
difference.
I think because like the first Saw I couldn't watch, second Saw didn't even try it.
Yeah.
Third, and then it's like now it's like, oh, I can watch it. This is nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I've been a huge fan of the Saw franchise for a minute. And it used to be one of my favorites, the older ones,
Mm.
because it was so hard to watch. And I'm just like, that's true horror. If you can get me to do this, you got me. But like no movie has gotten me like that in a while. But Saw, the last one I watched, it was kind of interesting because it was a prequel before the I think the one of the first or second Saws. I'm like, how are you gonna do a prequel almost like 2 decades later,
Yeah.
or like, how are you gonna get this old man to play that younger version of himself? And
Mm.
I'm looking at him in the film, and I'm just like, okay, you did something to his face to look young, but look at his bones. The way this man's moving, he's been doing this for 20 years. Like, and that lady, why you do her like that? You have to peel off her makeup now. Like, it's
That's funny.
okay. Don't do the prequel 20 years later unless you're gonna hire a new cast. Like, why would you do this? But like,
But back to
yeah,
you, back to your film and trying to make it true.
yeah. So my film, I really like psychological horrors, and I wanted to do that with doing a play on like a childhood. I love when like childhood games be turned into like dark twisted things. So I took the childhood game of red light, green light, and then turned it into a horror movie where this entity follows you and is playing a game of red light, green light with you. So you have to look at it for it to stop moving. And every time you look away, it gets closer and closer until it catches you and it
That's that video game too, right?
ah
There's like a video game like that, no?
There is I don't know if I haven't played or heard of any video game like that, but I've played a video game that had that concept in it, and it
Mm,
was Ghostwire Tokyo.
mm,
And I drew inspiration from one of the scenes in there.
nice.
And yeah, I drew inspiration from that and the movie It Follows, which goes back to the question you asked me, is one of my favorite horror movies. It
Hold on.
Follows is
It
sick.
follows.
Hmm.
It's the one where like you kind of have to have sex with the other person to pass it on.
Yes, yes.
I hate that you say that that's your favorite horror movie.
Why, you don't like it?
You're such a liar. No, it can't be. I hated it. I hated
Why did
it
you hate the movie?
because the whole time my message was oh, this movie is propaganda for to use a condom because this is just an STD. This is how STDs get passed around.
Okay, yeah, sure. Like, just ignore that part. That's the
You
dumb
can't
part.
ignore it because that is how you have to pass it on. Is you have to have sex with somebody.
Yeah,
Like, grow
100%.
the fuck up. Like,
Yeah,
really?
100%. I honestly like I've heard about that movie long before I watched it, and it's because of
Mm,
the concept why I didn't like the synopsis. I'm like, this sounds stupid, but watching, I really liked how they played out the horror moments and that it could be anything and anyone following you. And I love the shots in the movie. Like I love movies like that. The
mm,
Babadook and like Hereditary are like really good horror movies to watch. I
mm.
think they're kind of slow burns, but like it's a psychological aspect that they're building up. Paranormal Activity also a goat movie.
The
One
first
and two.
one, one and
Yeah,
two.
one and two is pretty good. One and
Yeah.
two. I think that was the first horror movie I watched. I don't remember if it was part one or part two, but there's a scene in it, and the guy goes into the shed. And there's a bunch of witches in there, like old ladies, and they all like turn to him. And I remember that moment vividly because the first time I ever watched a movie where I had to pause it to turn on all the lights in my house because I was that
I've
I was
done
that
that.
scared.
Yeah,
That shit was scary to me.
man. That's so
That
funny.
shit. Yeah.
And then, so now you're directing as well. And then
Yeah.
is it gonna stay in that vein of horror genre, or do you want to explore?
No, I'm definitely gonna explore. Ultimately, I want to do sci-fi because I
Mm,
just love sci-fi, but I also feel like sci-fi genre is a hard genre to nail because it's so big and it's just like there's so much room for creativity, but it's hard to like ground it where people can like really attach themselves to it. Like we like Star Wars, Star Trek, and all those big hitters, like they're still hitting to this day. Like it's like I personally, you can like throw a movie in. I don't know any other movie that's franchise that's come out that's like challenged that in terms of like blockbuster hits. I love Interstellar, but it's not like a sci-fi franchise, and I would love to create a franchise of sci-fi movies.
mm,
Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's sick, but like that I put that in its own little category
mm.
because that's
Why
one of my favorite movies of all
why
time.
would it be put in another category than sci-fi?
No, I put it in a different category because it is sci-fi, but I feel like it's so I don't know. It wasn't like too esoteric like sci-fi, like there wasn't fucking like robots and aliens and like intergalactic travel. It was like a human story, and the sci-fi element is just like humanity, like living different lives. And I'm just like, that's the sci-fi element, and it's just like it's not what the whole movie is. The movie's just good. That's the genre it belongs into. Good film. But put
Because
it there.
like I don't know, I feel like it was in that trend of multiverse.
It wasn't the trend. Facts.
And it's like that's what was hot, that's what was hitting at the time. So because we were so already exposed to it, that concept, I think it made it easier to swallow.
Facts. I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It definitely came out in the right climate, but I feel like it came out in the right climate, but it did something really familiar in a unique way
Mm,
and told a human story. So that's like one of the reasons I kind of like put it above all the other like multiverse kind of thing. I mean, like the Marvel, they're known for it. They kind of like started that big wave, but like
yeah.
it was just hype. It was hype, but it wasn't grounded. That's what I feel. Marvel, don't come for me, please. Unless
That's
it's coming for me to like work, but don't come for me, please.
so funny. Man, Orville, thanks for coming, man.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
man.
thanks
Thanks
for
for having me.
gracing the podcast. Um, One thing about the podcast too is it's brought to you by the Play On Foundation, which is a charity that focuses on raising funds and awareness for brain aneurysm development and prevention. Um, so curious to know if your family has gone through a loss from anything like what's the word hereditary that's passed down health wise genetically.
Yeah, I've lost uh a couple of people to cancer.
Hmm.
Um, it's on both sides of the family. My grandma on my dad's side, and I believe one of my aunts on my mom's side. So that's been a thing, and we have a history of diabetes on both sides of the family as well.
Hmm.
And I don't know if we've lost anyone to diabetes, but I know it runs like deep
Yeah.
family.
Like taking a turn in the conversation and where, but like the concept of grief. What is grief to you? And what's your means, your tools of escaping it?
Grief is kind of just, it's hard for me to define it. I guess it's just like a feeling of being lost and overwhelmed by your emotion at the same time. Um, and I feel like every time I felt grief, I've my initial reaction, the way I deal with it, I don't think is necessarily healthy. Like I don't know. I'm not a drinker or anything, but like, I'll smoke. I'll go to the gym, which is healthy, but at the same time, I feel like I do a lot of ego lifting, so I can like hurt
Mm,
myself a little. Um, but what has helped me, what I arrive at eventually is just like, is just I go back to like spirituality. Like I meditate, I talk to God about what I'm feeling because I used to keep a journal. It just got tedious for me. So I decided to just like talk out loud what I'm feeling inside with just me and God, with no one in particular. And that kind of like helps me navigate my own emotions.
mm.
So that's kind of like what I retreat to in the end. But most of the time when the grief hits at first, I handle it with like a distraction in order just to like, suppress the pain a little bit. But
Have you,
I'm working on it.
yeah, have you always had the same outlook of it, or has it changed since you've become an artist?
I think it has changed since becoming an artist. Since I've become an artist, I will say at one point, once I stepped into the world of acting, there was a lot of like ego that I had that I wasn't aware of. And one of them was just like when I was going through despair, grief, I'm just like, oh, these are the juicy emotions that they want on film. You'll give me an audition right now and tell me I have to be at my father's grave. I'm ready for that and I'm gonna book it. I was thinking of just like how is it gonna serve me. You know what I'm trying to say? Usually they say let go of things that doesn't serve you, but now I'm just trying to like, no, I'm gonna make this bend to my will and give me
Mm,
something out of it. And I thought I was gonna just every time something breaks me, makes me a better actor. And in reality, it does. If
yeah.
you're broken by something, you recover, you become stronger. That's just the reality of it. But as an actor, when you're just like with the ego that comes in and it just like then that's when you can be like that's when you get messy because you're
Mm,
just like you start seeking that, but it's not about seeking, it's about like dealing it with it when it arrives. So that's what I'm learning,
mm.
to let go of that ego side of it because that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Orville, man, thanks for coming. Did
Yeah,
you
man,
did
thank
you
you.
have anything that you wanted to plug in particular that's going on right now?
uh I guess one thing I could plug um is that for the film Morningside, we're doing a collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club with this Yamoja Village project where we're selling Morningside hoodies. And every
Oh,
purchase, all the proceeds from the hoodies go back to the charity to help build affordable housing in Scarborough. Oh, what is that? What is that? What's
came
that
in the other
there?
day.
Hey, and he got the Morningside hoodie. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
it
Yes.
literally came the other day. That's
Oh,
crazy.
that's
That's
so
so funny.
sick. That's so sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, that's just what I want to plug. It's just for the Yamoja project to develop and build affordable housing for in Scarborough.
nice.
So that's like another legacy the movie will be leaving behind. So
That's
just
so
passing
cool.
on, keeping focus. Yeah, but thank you, man. Thank you for getting that sweater. Let's go.
Yeah, man, I'm supporting. I'm supporting.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah, Orville, again, thanks for coming. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the first episode of season 4 of the 2 Degrees podcast. Don't forget to learn more about the Play On Foundation. Check out www.letsplayon.org and see how you can become part of that fight against brain aneurysms. Other than that, that's like the worst Naruto. Do you know that stuff? Do you actually know it?
No, I don't know that shit.
Oh
That's
man,
so
that I would honestly I would have been impressed. I would have been like,
no,
that's
no, no.
dope. But Orville Cummings, check him out. Follow him on Instagram. Links, everything, and I'll put it in below in the description. And yeah, support the movie Morningside and definitely learn more about it. Other than that, thank you all for tuning in. Peace.